You're watching Well Traveled Life, and in this, our next in the series of Wee Walks and Small Talks, we will be taking a walk from the village of Grassington through the Yorkshire Dales National Park and over to the next village of Burnsall. We'll be walking primarily along the River Wharfe, but through the Yorkshire Dales National Park. You'll get views of rivers, pastures, stone bridges, and the charming town of Burnsall. This is a really moderate walk with very few slopes, but there are some rocky areas and paths can be narrow in places. You may hit water depending on how much rain there's been recently, but the trails are very well marked and this is a really easy walk. It's about 3 miles total from the parking lot in the Yorkshire Dales National Park to the Red Lion in Burnsall. We'll take you step by step and give you some great views of the paths and the trail, as well as some tips about this area. The walk from Grassington to Burnsall is just a couple of miles. It'll take you down through the Yorkshire Dales National Park along the Wharfe River, or the River Wharfe. And you have an absolutely beautiful trail there. You'll cross the river at one point to get to the other side, and that's where you'll find Burnsall. I'm going to the Red Lion, which is a perfect place because they have seating right along the river. And today just happens to be a charity raffle for the Macmillan Cancer Center. So we'll go there for that and stay for lunch. For this walk, we're going to go ahead and stay on the Grassington side of the River Wharfe. So right here at Linton Falls, instead of going across the bridge, we're going to go through the stiles right here and head down this way. This old barn has been for sale for 3 years, and it's so tempting because would I not love to live in an old barn right on the River Wharfe? Heck yeah. Here's the problem with it. If you acquire a barn, you have to go through some pretty rigorous building standards to make that into a home. And one of the problems we're probably going to find is you can't add windows. So if there's not a hole in the barn where a window should be, you're not going to be able to add one. So it could be a rather dark, tiny home. On this route, we're going to be walking through some open pastures. You're going to find some livestock here. I think you're going to see that we'll hit a place where we have sheep, but we also are going to hit a place where we have cows. And we'll talk about how to manage cows in an open pasture. Nothing you need to do special, just sort of stay out of the way. Because the biggest danger to livestock is actually other animals, you really need to make sure that you keep your dog on a lead. Often you will hear the waterfalls before you see them. And as you follow this street down, it's more like a driveway than a street, but you will see St. Michael's Church on your right, which is an old church. And make sure you check out our walk there to get a view both inside and outside and around the church. It has a beautiful old cemetery where, for locals, lots of their friends and loved ones are laid to rest. And now we go through a small tree tunnel. These are always my favorite. If you had walked across on the other side of the river, the Linton side of the river, you would have gone through this area, and this would be your crossing point, is the stepping stones that take you into Hebden. But we went over on the other side because we've had a lot of rain and the water's really high, and the stepping stones are not a safe idea right now. As I mentioned, we've had lots of rain, so the path, while it's really well marked, is also really wet. You'll want to be careful or wear your wet boots to get across here. This is a lovely spot to talk about the Dales. We are in the Yorkshire Dales National Park, and you may wonder what exactly is a dale. And a dale is a big valley between hills, usually cut by a river. So we have the River Wharfe going through this valley, and it is what has eroded and cut through these hills. So we are in the Yorkshire Dales. These small bridges and the trails that are so well marked are what make this walk so easy. It's nature that makes it so beautiful.
If you listen, you will notice music everywhere. This bridge is made.
It really doesn't matter how many people are coming behind you or who just came before you. No matter what, you always want to close and lock a gate when you go through it. Just a good habit to be in. I love the walk right next to the riverside, but in this particular part of it, you have got really tall trees right on the other side of you. And it makes for such a, I don't know, beautiful but kind of sheltered little walk. I don't care how many people are on the trail, I still feel like I'm all alone out here.
Side by side.
When paths narrow and you have steep cliffs on either side, just like on a single track road, you need to move over. And if you see a place where you can step outside the trail, you need to take that so that you aren't crowding the next people to walk by in either direction.
Side by side.
Even in areas where the river looks really calm and peaceful, there are dangers and you need to be especially aware. There could be currents that you're not seeing, and you need to really be careful, especially these rivers along agricultural areas. There's, especially after a big rain like we've had recently, there's a lot of runoff coming from the farms. And that's everything from fertilizer to manure. And water quality is probably not real safe for swimming. So this is one of those rivers probably better to enjoy from the banks. And you know that kills me because there is nothing I like better than a good wild swim. But this river, if you have cuts and you get E. coli in there, those can be infections you don't want to mess with. Also, if you accidentally ingest anything, you don't want that either. If you find yourself caught in a storm and you're out hiking, trail walking, I know your natural inclination is to say hide under the trees, but when you see how some of these branches and even full trees fall, you don't want to be under them. Even if you don't see livestock, you're going to see signs of livestock. They are here. They may not be in this part of the field at the time that you're here, but they're here. So you do need to be mindful. And watch your step. Just past your second mile, you're going to come across the suspension bridge. And this is what we're going to cross to get to the other side because Burnsall is on the other side of the river. Told you you'd see livestock. So today these guys are actually in a separate pen, but normally they're out here and I've been able to see them and walk with them. In low water, there is also stepping stones that will get you across the river. But today that current is a little too strong and the water's a little too high. We're gonna go ahead and use the suspension bridge. Enjoy the walk. This is fun, just like being at, what is it, the jungle ride at Disney.
Hunger, war, and strife. We can together, all included, build a better life.
If you aren't comfortable with suspension bridges, it is a little higgledy-piggledy. You're gonna feel it move, but it's very safe. You don't need to worry. Once you cross that suspension bridge, the river is now on your left side, and you're gonna turn left off the bridge, follow the path. Again, it's still really well marked, great trail, beautiful views. As you come across this small bridge, you've got a staircase. Don't take that, you don't need to go up there. You're gonna continue through the gate and just go straight. Another perfect tree tunnel. I can't be the only person that loves those. I just think they are the best. And this is one of my favorite parts of the trail. It's wide open. You're right by the river. You've got a small hill on the other side of you. And I always meet the most interesting people and dogs on this part. And here you've got those limestone cliffs. Do I need to say don't dive? Don't dive. Come up the one little uphill part of the trail. Look what you get when you get here.
This bridge is made of
And over on your right side, you're gonna start seeing little buildings. You're almost there. That's how you know you're coming into a village. But from up here, you've got these gorgeous views of the river and the dale. And what goes up must come down, so you get a little tiny downhill. It makes you realize the downhill is as steep as the uphill, and it's not very steep. If the water quality is good, I see swimmers here quite frequently. But again, check that water quality.
There's a message drifting in the air.
For a time, like at least for 1,000 years, the Dales Way has been used for people of all types, for all kinds of things, trying to get to markets, to enjoying a recreational walk on the river.
This bridge is made of hope. In this world,
And as you get out into this very open part of the river, you're going to get your first glimpses of the beautiful church in Burnsall. So look through the trees to your right, and you should see a steeple up there.
this bridge is made of hope.
You're going to stay on this main trail just a little bit longer, but you're very close. We'll now go through this kissing gate, and if you don't know how kissing gates work, you're going to enter it, pull the gate open, close it, and walk through the other side. The gate stays in the middle of the two.
Side by side.
Another kissing gate. You're so close. You're going to come up, and you've got the Red Lion outdoor seating right on your right. You've got the bridge just in front of you, and you'll see the Red Lion sign, which means you know you've arrived. You've got a good meal and a beer. Best way to end a walk.
Better life. made of home.